Hi there and welcome to Year 4's reading comprehension for today. The text is called Would You Adam and Eve It? So, a few questions just to get you started, to get you thinking. So, where do Cockneys live or come from? Have you even heard that word before? If you know where they come from, can you find the city on a map? Have you ever heard of any Cockney rhyming slang? I'll give you a clue. It's probably featured from time to time in a very famous TV soap. Look at the picture of the text. What might this text be about? Pause now and think about your answers. Alright then, Cockney is a nickname for people that come from London, traditionally the East End of London, so our capital city down south. Cockney rhyming slangs like apples and pears for stairs, and the TV soap, it's likely to have been in EastEnders from time to time. Looking at the picture, well, it looks like a picture of a police officer, so it must have something to do with the police. So let's have a look. Move that out of the way. Okay, would you Adam and Eve it? Cockney rhyming slang can be traced back to the early part of the 19th century, when in 1824 Sir Robert Peel formed the first official police force stationed at Bow Street, London. Known locally as the Bow Street Runners or Peelers, today we often use a more affectionate and informal term, bobbies, Bob being the short form of Robert. Whatever they were called, they soon gained a fearsome reputation for solving crime. Criminal gangs and petty thieves alike were worried that they would be heard planning their next crime or boasting about the one they'd just committed. So instead they began to create a secret code that they hoped the police would not understand. And would you Adam and Eve it? Cockney rhyming slang was born. Cockney slang was a coded language that uses a phrase that rhymes with a word rather than the word itself. Thus, stairs becomes apples and pears, phone becomes dog and bone, and thief becomes tea leaf. And if you really want to conceal what you are saying, then you can do so by dropping the rhyming part of the word altogether. So, have a butcher's at this. Butcher's, hook, look. And stop telling me porkies. Pork pies, lies are two great examples. So our vocabulary to look at today is Cockney, rhyming, slang, traced, 19th century, official, affectionate, informal, reputation, boasting, code, and conceal. Pause now and think about what these words mean. Right guys, so Cockney is a nickname for Londoners. Rhyming, it has the same sound at the end of a word, so cat and mat. Slang, it's the informal use of language and words. Traced, it means it can be followed back to where it started or has been. The 19th century are the years from the year 1800 to the year 1899. Official means it's the correct version of something. Affectionate means it's loved. Informal, it's relaxed or unofficial. Reputation, the image and beliefs that people have about someone or something. Boasting is showing off. Code is phrases or other things used to hide true meanings. And then to conceal is to hide something. So the gist. Have a think now, please, about what the gist of this text is actually about. Pause now and have a think. Right, so the gist, the history of the origins of Cockney rhyming slang. So at first, when I first looked at this text, I thought, oh, it's going to be about police officers. But actually, it's not. It's about where Cockney rhyming slang came from. So we're going to go back to these question stems again. Who, what, when, where, and why. They're important because it determines what sort of answer we are looking for when we start answering questions in a comprehension. Pause now and think about the answers that you should expect for each of those. Who, the answer is a person's name. What, it will be an object, a thing, or an event. When, the answer will be a time reference. Where, the answer will be a location or place. Or why requires a bit more of an explanation. Now remember to use keywords. One or two words within questions when searched within the text will allow literal answers to be found quickly. Choose these words carefully, i.e. don't choose a word that is going to be repeated all over the text. It's not going to help you a great deal at all. Once found, read the sentences around it to contextualize the word before answering the question using the question stems that we mentioned before. Types of questions. As literal questions, the answers are in the text. You literally have to find them. V is vocabulary, they're word choice questions. D is deductive, an understanding based on the evidence presented within the text and also your own personal knowledge. Evaluative is kind of a discussion question. You're exploring something in a bit more detail. Inference is similar to deductive, but it requires interpretation beyond the text. You're reading between the lines. And authorial is why has the author chosen to feature that language in the text? Usually it's to engage the reader. So question time, let's model. Who formed the police force first police force, and when. So it's a literal question. So for me, who, I'm looking for a name. My keyword here I'm going to look for is first. See whether I can find the word first. I'm going to read the sentence, and then the answer should be a person's name within the text. Pause now and have a go. And of course the answer is Sir Robert Peel, and just for argument's sake, he did it in 1824. So these are your questions today. First one's a literal question. Who formed the first official police force? When? Inference question. Why was the first official police force created? Literal. What is Cockney rhyming slang for a thief? Vocabulary. What is a petty thief? Deductive. Were criminals scared of the Bow Street runners? Inference. How successful was Cockney rhyming slang? Vocab. What does Adam and Eve it mean? Literal. List the examples of Cockney slang the author includes. Authorial intent. Why do you think the writer includes so many examples? Evaluative question. In which subject might you learn about Cockney rhyming slang? Pause now, guys. Have a go at those questions. Off you go. Right, a little bit of information on Sir Robert Peel, or well, more to the point, you're going to find out about Sir Robert Peel. So I want you to see whether you can use the internet to find out about the life and achievements of Sir Robert Peel. Use the biography stencil attached to help you to do this. You should find that in your packs. So it looks like this. Now you've all seen these before because we've done them for art and we have also done them in DT. So there's a picture of Robert Peel in the corner with the title, Who Was Sir Robert Peel? The top section there is about the Bow Street Runners, the first police force. Try and find out as much information about them and put that in there. Then you've got his biography details. So where was he born? When was he born? When did he die? Then a bit of personal information. So, you know, did he get married? Did he have any children? Where did he live? Was he educated? Etc. And then some facts about Robert's career. So find out about some of the things that he actually achieved and did within his life. Good luck, guys, with that. See you later. Bye-bye.